Aloha, checking in from Washington. Oh, you look so pretty, Deanna. It's funny that I can like look into the phone and see how pretty you are. I've been meaning to tell you that all day actually, but I think I've told you with my hands. Anyways, Deanna's about to make a comment in this video with the link to internationaltribedesign.com because that's what this video is about. I'm gonna do a parable. I'm gonna make a parable, a metaphor of what this means to me, and it's about me tapping your spring. I'll put it this way. I was just talking to my dad today about this guy named Tyler Austin, who was a guy that played baseball with my brother, and I used to go to the games and support him, and I would almost like kind of consult with him. I would tell him about like, I would almost even watch out for like what the signs that the catcher was throwing and see if I could say. So imagine this, Deanna, this is how cool baseball is. Like this is an element of baseball that many people might not know about. So Timothy on his baseball team, I would go behind the catcher, right? And then I would watch the signs that he's giving the pitcher. And if it wasn't a fastball, I would say their last name. I would like, go Austin. And if it was a fastball, I would say, let's go Tyler. And then I would like stand in a certain position. It was pretty crazy. Isn't that crazy that sports, like how the fans could be actually part of the game? So anyways, this guy named Tyler Austin. And yeah, let me know where y'all are checking in from. I'm enjoying the comments. And this is a good story about tapping springs. So Tyler, to me, I just knew. I know talent when I see it. And I believe everyone's talented. But I know, like it's pretty obvious to me when someone's about to actualize and realize closest to their fullest potential, and Tyler was definitely doing that. So I asked Tyler for his autograph in high school. It's pretty much the only. I was definitely older than him. I was like Timothy's older brother, so people kind of looked at me as like the older cool brother. I was playing baseball, and I asked this younger kid for his autograph. This kid that was looking up to me, and he was so honored, and I was so honored because he gave me his autograph. And this kid, years later, recently, he had his first Major League Baseball game on the New York Yankees, arguably the best baseball team ever. He's first Major League Baseball game, and he hits a home run in the major leagues. If anyone knows about the competitiveness of Major League Baseball and hitting a home run off a Major League pitcher, you know that how did I have the inkling to ask for this guy's autograph years before he played on the Yankees and hit his first home run in his first baseball game? It's the same thing. It's like, how did I, when I met Deanna, when I met you, Deanna, the first day at our retreat, she flew from Denmark to Albany, New York for a weekend retreat, arguably the least exciting retreat we've ever done location. And she flew just for a week and all the way. Oh, you're in Ashland, Oregon, Bodie? Nice. I was just talking about Ashland with my brother. We're talking about how Asheville is kind of like Asheville, North Carolina is like the Ashland of Oregon, how they're similar. All right, but anyways, and I'm not too far from you. I'm up in Washington, in Tacoma. Is anyone near here? Tacoma. But when Deanna was there at the retreat, I knew this girl's a star. So what catalyzed me and getting in her bed the first night we met as a retreat facilitator? I know people tell you not to dip your pen in the company ink, but I took care of business because I knew this was a star. I know she's a star. Yeah, it wasn't like we were. How would you like to explain getting in bed? What does that mean to you?
We were in the same bed.
With another girl too.
Who
was that?
Who that was.
Hey, if you remember who slept with us the first night in the retreat in Albany, and it was mostly sleeping and cuddling. So, but I still took it. PG-13 maybe. But I took care of business. Hey, Christy. Hello, Christy. And look what we have Davina, another star. So it's like I have. And then if I look at my life literally, I love springs. I love spring water. I love moving water. I love when the earth is giving birth to miracles, to miraculous life-giving life force. And then I think about someone like JP. When we first met JP, it's like. And JP, if you've read Breaking Normal, he goes into this in the foreword about how I was like, come on, JP, you're playing a little safe. Like, brother, you're hilarious. Why are you not showing that on camera? We kind of encouraged him, and I actually remember doing this whole hour lecture about how to get on YouTube. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how long it was later, this guy's offending millions of people around the world. I used to tell him he's a professional eggshell walker, and now he's offending millions and billions of people in a healthy way. So, why I love doing these retreats, and I've been doing these retreats for, and this is a cool story. I've been doing these for about 10 years now. And when we first started doing these retreats, and I would love your feedback on this. I don't know how you were, Deanna's a little different. She's very breaking normal, but people didn't know what we were doing. Like 10 years ago,
No, I didn't
people
know what we were
didn't
doing.
have a clue. They were like, you do what? You chart. And now it's becoming so much more normalized. Like all of a sudden, going in a retreat to me is a very authentic, awesome, edutaining experience that whether you're a yoga teacher, whether you're a dog trainer, whether you're a fireman, whether you're a radiance, joy, grace, whatever you are, that you can run a retreat based on your gift and giving it to people and sharing your gift in the most powerful way with people for a creative constraint of a day, 2, 3, 4, 3 or 4 nights. I've been doing 3 or 4 night retreats. I've probably done about 40 of them now. And the reason I'm saying this is because we're getting ready after all these years and after all these events, and now that there's an actual retreat industry that's booming and popping for people of all modalities, we're launching, and Deirdre's perfect timing. I was just telling the story of the tribe design, why I'm doing a tribe design facilitator training, and I think it has something to do with my love for tapping springs or finding springs, because I believe just as there's infinite amount of springs on Earth, and they're still being discovered, and I'm a little concerned about who's discovering them and who's taking rights and who's locking them up and who's putting white powder in them. That's another story. But I have that gift to recognize where someone's spring can be tapped. And Deirdre's, your spring is tapped. Now I'm looking forward to tapping that. I'm looking forward to distributing that spring water in the most advantageous way in the world. And that's why I'm so excited about the Tribe Design Facilitator training, because we're finally, after doing this for so long, Frank J, myself, Tyson Wagner, Deanna, my brother maybe, some other people are involved. We're going to train 15 people for this month to get ready to shadow and support us at our event in Washington. So then in Oregon, they can facilitate something and we support them. And I think Deirdre's is doing that. Christy, I know I saw you on here. You're looking into it. We still have some space left. We already have such an awesome team going. But I'm just like, this is a celebratory moment for me, because mark my word, right freaking now, Tyler Austin, JP Sears, Deanna Eisenman, the rest of my friends that have infinite amount of talent and they used to hide it from themselves until we met. I'm so freaking stoked to find out who's going to go through this tribe design facilitator training and see like the outcome, because I'm remembering the future right now, and it's a big freaking future. Think about the 10 All In. Think about 10 All In. Think about what happened with my book. Think about what happened with Frank J and International Tribe Design. Look at Tyson. Look at Tyson before and after we met. So I'm just owning. I have some sort of like polishing, refining, spring tapping gift, and I'm ready to give it in a whole new way. And Deirdre, I'm coming at you. Christy, if you sign up, if this works out with you, I'm coming at you. Whoever the fruit is taking this up on this offer, and it starts in less than 5 days, I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you. And you're not going to be able to hide your talents or your power or your gifts from anyone anymore. We're going to make it real obvious, the genius that you're embodying. Were you saying something?
I was saying, I still remember when I showed up at the customs at the airport, and they were like, so what are you, like, asking what I was doing in the States. I was like, I'm going to this retreat. It's like, what is it about? And I was like, I don't know. And he kept interrogating me, and I had no clue what the retreat was about. And it's like, well, who's facilitating it? Well, these 3 guys from YouTube.
And they looked up the YouTube, they were at the customs?
No, yeah, they did a Google search, and the first picture that showed up was like the 3 of you in Speedos jumping at some lake in Canada, I think.
Oh yeah, that's actually Lake Moraine. Lake Moraine, yeah.
And
Beautiful
yeah,
lake
they were
in
asking all these questions. No, I just kept saying I don't know, and they were like, and you're traveling by yourself? I'm like, yeah, and you're not worried, you're not scared? Like, no. Just like, okay.
And then she showed up at the retreat. We'll talk about that a little bit. She showed up at the retreat. And, all right, someone just called me from Morocco, and I think it's my friend Bronny. If you're checking Facebook right now, can you call me in like 15 minutes? I think she's actually into the Tribe Design Facilitator training as well. So what in the heavens were we just talking about? When you showed up. Yeah, so she showed up, and me being the talent scout that I am, I was like, I had seen some pictures, but I'm not a big celebrator until things happen. Like, for instance, when someone says they're going to come on a retreat or take a trip around the world, I typically don't start celebrating until they actually start the journey, because I think a lot of people talk themselves out of their dreams by oversharing them. So paradoxically, actually, I'm a big believer in living a secretless life, unless it has something to do with like goals and dreams that are so big they would scare other people and they would potentially bias you with doubt. So at this point, I saw pictures of Deanna and I was like, wow, my girl. I'm not gonna get excited. I'm just gonna do my thing until I see her, and we'll see what happens. And sure enough, she showed up, and she was in the kitchen, and I was like, "Whoa, she's actually real. This is the real deal." And I remember, I think I immediately at that time went over and started eating veal. Like I have some health hacks that are maybe they're placebo, maybe they're not, but we had some really good quality meat. Apologize, but it was veal, if that offends anyone. I think we went to a local farm in New York to get raw milk, and they had some, and we're like, let's treat ourselves, let's try this out. And I just remember eating it, like my hands and like the blood dripping out of my mouth. It was like very undercooked, and I was getting my testosterone going because I was like, oh my gosh, there was a lot of other guys with a lot of testosterone at that event in particular. And my belief was they were all after her. And I know, like, once again, there's these ideas you're not supposed to mix work and romance, but that's why the freak I'm breaking normal, because I don't play by those rules. And when I saw Deanna, I took immediate action. It wasn't like obvious. I wasn't like a crazy puppy. I started doing all the good stuff, all my best moves at that point to make this happen. And here we are, what, like 5 or 6 years later?
Yeah, that was in 2012.
Wow. Can you give me while I have my beautiful support system here, can you give me me and this program a little bit of an affirmation if someone's on the fence? Like you've seen this happen throughout the years.
I think
like if someone's on the
fence, you're
fence,
the most excited. What I've seen you be the most excited about of the things that you've been doing in a long time. Like you seem very excited, and I think that in itself is a testimony. But what were you asking?
I'm just like, if someone's on the fence about this, or they're like questioning if it's for them, or if it's worth it, or if they should inquire. Like, a lot of people don't inquire to our events because they think they're like not in good enough shape.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's the thing. That's a thing. I mean, I guess people have a lot of stories, but I think
I would say
the one thing that I've been thinking lately is that some of my like best friends have come out of this. Some of my, like, the people that we engage with the most, like, I'm not even sure how to explain it. I just feel like, JP met his now wife. Like, we met, several couples have met. People, like,
proposal.
The idea of sometimes you gotta
made.
spend money to make money, and I'm not saying this is the thing that you have to spend money on, but it might open doors for you that leads to, friends all over the world, just like a stepping stone to get out of the situation that you don't want to be in.
And then this is a good, Bodhi's bringing up a great point in my opinion. But I hear what you're saying. And what I will say before I address Bodhi's and before I want to say something about what she's saying, who I would say it's not for, because not everyone leaves the retreats like so happy.
Oh no.
I'm like, I even see some people on this that I think people live in, like, watching it from a skeptical perspective. And I would say if that's you, I mean, that's fine. I think
like going to the movies.
I think
everyone...
doubt is the other side of the coin of faith, and I'm fine with skepticism. But if you're looking for someone to affirm your arguments for your limitations, whether it's financial, whether it's health, whether it's too late, whether it's too early, whether it's better for another time, or especially if you believe you can't do something, this is probably not for you. It is for you, but it might be a little much for you. Like, you might get offended if you believe you can't do things.
I think for someone that's
okay to
ready
be offended.
like just be faced, like, to challenge their beliefs and their current idea of life. I'm not saying this is going to brainwash you into thinking differently, but someone that's at least open to the idea, I don't think they would come on this retreat if they weren't.
I don't think so
Right.
either.
But there are people that come and they're just like, no. Like, people have left.
Yeah, people have left, especially, like, for instance,
challenging.
there was one point where this lady came, I'm not going to use any names, so I think it's fine, but she was telling us how, and she came with her grandson. I love when parents and families come. That, to me, is one of the most valuable, especially for the willing. But she kept telling us how angry her grandson was, and I eventually had to say something, because, first of all, her grandson didn't, from my perspective, it was clearly, she was clearly projecting, and she was angry, and if she kept going, her grandson actually might start believing that he was this angry. So I kind of pointed that out to her. I'm like, I have a belief that everything we say is about ourselves. And maybe he's not the angry one. Said something like that. Next day, the whole family left. Mm-hmm. So they're like, if you're very offendable, and if you take being offended very seriously, it might not be for you. But if you are ready to be surrounded by people that won't allow you to live a limited life, without they're going to speak up if they do, then this is the freaking container.
That fascinates me is that I think some people are scared of it because of what it might open up. A lot of people will.
So true.
Because like even, I just imagine for myself, and maybe that's just the kind of person that I am. But even if I went and I was like, wow, this is nuts. This is not at all what I thought it was going to be. I'm actually not really enjoying it. I think I would still like ride it out to see like, okay, well, maybe am I missing something? I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. Like, okay, let's just what's going on instead of just being like, okay, I don't like this. Peace out.
Well, yeah.
And I think that's just how I think differently. But at least I'm open to questioning and trying new things.
Yeah, if you're willing, if someone, yeah, she's right. If someone's watching this and they're willing to live a better life, even if that means you have to shed the skin of who you're not, or break normal, or be different, or stop worshiping the opinions of your preachers, teachers, or your past leaders, or if it's very important for you to look like everyone else or fit in, this is probably not for you. But if you're willing to be different, to stand out,
and I think
then this is
it
the
doesn't
stop.
mean you have to come. I think a lot of people come with the idea of like being with like-minded people, and was it Brandon Hawk that said like it's not about being like-minded, but about being like-hearted. And I think that's so true. I mean, there's so many things that Dan and I disagree on, like so many things.
It's true. The way I've been starting, tell me if this resonates with you, because I've been trying to figure out the best way to describe tribe design specifically. And I started telling people, and I think this is really true, that we design tribes based on disagreement.
No, I will not say that.
But it is true, because what we get people in my opinion, there's way too many genius leaders that are not teaming up with each other because they disagree about like one aspect or a few aspects about God, money, or sex. So we actually leverage a lot of taboo topics for leaders to start teaming up beyond only if whether they agree with each other. Oh, I think everyone's a leader.
I think,
I know.
See, I think the wording
I know.
is important.
Help other people
understand.
So
one understands that. Sometimes
see, I can't.
I work as a little bit of a translator.
I can't. I'll use I can't in funny ways. I just believe everyone's a leader. I believe everyone's a leader.
I know, but not everyone believes that, and so they might think when you're talking about that it's only leaders from like,
Augie says. Augie says this is funny. You don't agree on disagreement. Let me read your comment real quick. And anyone else has any quick questions, definitely let us know. We're taking advantage of Davina taking a nap outside. I might even show you the setup in a little bit. Geardress, thank you for the inspiration of sleeping outside of your place in freaking Portland. I loved it. Bodhi says, man, I'm definitely interested in this. I've always wanted to get involved with your stuff. I've just had issues with cultivating sufficient financial abundance, so I felt unable to really get involved because of that. All right, Bodhi, great question. I'm curious, Bodhi, do you know how much our retreats cost, or have you ever inquired? I believe, and this is another thing, maybe Deanna can help translate this, but I believe everyone watching this video, I mean, I see my mom, I see Bodhi, I see Geardress, I see Thomas Casey, I see Augie, I see Sarah Parsons, David. We all have access to all the money in the world. And I say that because, for one thing, I've never seen anyone make money. Have y'all ever watched anyone print or make money? It's a matter of a perspective. It's a matter of aligning perspectives and actions and faith and belief, and not being put under a ploy, not settling for a salary that doesn't serve your highest self. It's a matter of maybe walking by faith and sight. It might be a matter of getting money in unique ways. It might be a matter of you asking for a payment plan for a retreat. There's always a way. There's always a way. Like, money, in my opinion, is just a go-to cultural excuse for why most people they believe they can't do things. It's either money or time. money or time. Like they'll first go, most people first go to money, and then the second, like, oh, I don't have enough time. Actually, I believe you have all the time all the time that you want. I believe we all have all the time that we want, and we all have access to all the money in the world. And it's just a matter of matching desire. I'm talking about fiery desire, fiery, like volcanic desire, matching that with an emotional charge and inspired action, and doing what's most valuable for you and others, and giving that to as many people as possible. So anyone that does that is rich. Money is an idea. Money is a representation of energy. Money is a symbol. Money is an excuse. Money is funny. But this is way beyond money. Money is just like, we just basically agree upon a price, and then for the people that can believe they can make it happen, they make it happen, regardless of money, time, or space. And that doesn't even go for our retreats. That goes for every freaking thing in life. You want a Tesla, you can get one. You want to buy a candy bar, you want to buy all the candy bars you want, you can do that. You can do whatever you believe. I'm going to project that upon you. You can do whatever you believe. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions, but any questions for me before we cruise? We got Davina waking up. I think I heard her. I'll show you her setup in the meantime real quick. That's my baby. That's my baby. No. That's the tree of life. All right, cool. All right. Hey, Martina. Yeah, money needs to flow. Of course, money needs to flow. Money is like, I love that you said that, Martina, because I do believe money is like manure. Are y'all seeing me? It says I have a low connection. I really do believe money is like manure. And what I mean by that, money, ideas, and manure share a very common thread. And what it is they're very fertilizing and nurturing to life when they're spread out strategically. But if they're hoarded in one spot, they start to stink like shit. And it can become dangerous, and it can become insidious, and it can actually turn on itself. So like if someone's hiding all these ideas because they think ideas are limited, those ideas might start to eat away at them. And if someone has all this money and they don't want to share it, and they, like, some of the people that I know have the most money in the world are the most scared of running out of money. And that's just weird. Isn't it? So like a lot of people that think like, oh, if I had more money, I would have more faith. Actually, or I could do more things. Actually, I think a lot of people that have more money problems. They have more issues with money. So be blessed. If you have a little money, be blessed that you have so little money, because you can just get as much money whenever you want, and you can do whatever you want with it. And it's really as simple as I said. And I'm talking to myself too. So, all right. Anything else on your end? No. Deanna put a comment. So check out internationaltribedesign.com. If this is calling to your heart, and if it scares you a little bit, and it's like magnetically attracting you, that probably means it's time for you to take action on that. And if it's not this, whatever scares you and that you're magnetically drawn to, it scares you in a healthy way, do it. Do it. Oh, and then someone says, David asks, where will you both be in a year from now?
Hopefully in our own home. I'm imagining somewhere in Oregon, perhaps Bend. Yeah.
And that's I'm in my own home right now. She means house. I like to recontextualize home. I think a lot of people get mixed up. Home is like a house, like a box of wood or bricks. I'm like, I don't know. Home is where I'm at. But I also hear her. To me, I hear her. She's ready for her queen bee colony. What a weird world we live in. All right, go ahead and apply it. See you there in Washington. We're here in Washington now. I'm gonna tap your spring, and we're not gonna add any. We're not gonna add any like calcification to your pineal gland while we do it. I'll show you where the spring. If you want to drink the water that has the white powder in it, I can show you that. But if you want to drink out of the spring, I can show you that, and that's what I'll be drinking from. All right, spring on.